Hello everyone! As has been the case every Saturday for a while, we take another dive into the mysterious world of the Forgotten Languages website, exploring its ties with UFOs. Today's topics include humans as artificially designed beings and time travelers. But before that, I would appreciate a lot if you could like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share the video. This way we can spread the awareness of the UFO phenomenon, its reality, and our interaction with non-human intelligence as we draw near the actual disclosure. Thank you. Last week we explored the mysterious extraterrestrial and possibly interdimensional race of Gizelians, and today, while exploring March and April of 2015, we encounter an article which considers the possibility of humanity being a bioengineered race of beings. On the 24th of March, the website posted the title Reverse Bioengineering: Why Humans Ignore Their Robots. Interestingly, the English parts of the article seem to be written from the perspective of non-human beings, most likely. The idea and the topic itself are not new. If we think closely about it, the idea of us being a creation of non-human intelligence is really what lies at the core of most religions and mythologies across times and cultures. We may be a product of a higher intelligence, regardless of whether we accept the scriptural teachings or believe in another race of intelligent beings having created us. Let's see how Forgotten Languages approach the topic in the English text.
Members of an advanced civilization would be indistinguishable from machines, unless they wish you to believe they are machines. The problem is not whether a machine can be designed so that it looks totally human to humans, but rather, whether a human could cheat a machine into believing he is a machine himself.
This part of the text is relatively obvious. We are already considering moving into post-biological stage of humanity, augmenting ourselves with technology. It is not entirely out of the realm of possibility for really advanced civilizations to exist as a merger of consciousness and machine in various forms of that state, or as hive minds connected through individual beings' nodes, like is often reported in the case of the famous grey aliens. The latter part is sort of an anti-Turing test, reversing the role of an intelligent machine and a human being, perhaps in reference to our potential artificial creators.
There are bioremediation techniques that use bacteria to clean up a contaminated environment, much as there are civilizations that could engineer biological entities, aka humans, whose sole purpose is to modify a planet as to render it useless for those biological entities, yet ready to be inhabited by those civilizations.
This is a scary paragraph in a sense. On the one hand, we can imagine the Earth being primed for our emergence, including eventual intrinsic bioengineering of our DNA, and then we could act naturally, at least to ourselves, proceed with wrecking the planet, which is exactly what we have been quite successfully doing throughout the course of the existence of our species, with the process now accelerating much faster than we could have supposed. Could it indeed be the case that we are just the next priming stage, preparing the planet for the takeover by initially hybrid beings and eventually fully fledged alien overlords?
Success in a long-term terraforming program requires the machines to never be aware they are machines. Instilling in their brains the idea of religion would help. Better is, though, to allow them to create by themselves advanced machines, for creating machines gives them the conviction they are not machines themselves.
If we had indeed encountered really advanced alien civilization in ancient past, as even the famous Ancient Aliens TV series proposes, it is quite possible that we have built religions around those beings, cladding them in divine robes, making them angels, gods, and demigods of the myths of old. And right now we tinker with AI and advanced robotics, playing the creators ourselves. But perhaps we are just fooling ourselves and are really secretly creating an artificial divine. Then again, we have the questions of consciousness, awareness, and experience, topics which are not easily defined to begin with, and despite being at the core of the philosophical thought for millennia, we really know precious little about them, and this is the topic of the next few passages.
The word consciousness cannot be defined ostensively, not even by the person whose consciousness it is. It is surely not possible to point one's finger at one's own consciousness. Consequently, if one is not careful, there is a danger that its meaning will float, so that it comes to be used in different ways by different people, or even by the same person at different times. I believe this actually happens. In the context of everyday life, it would be crazy to doubt the existence of external reality. Hence, the human machine would hardly doubt about that reality and would keep on doing what it is programmed to do.
And after those philosophical considerations, we remain in more abstract topics, this time considering the nature of UFO visitors. There are people who claim and put forward the proposal, including experiencers, that the beings we usually think of when thinking of aliens, the Greys, can be our distant descendants, whether through purely evolutionary means or perhaps as a result of a great calamity like a nuclear war. Those would be time travelers visiting our slice of space-time continuum. The 7th of April 2015 saw the publication of the article titled "Countering the Time Traveler Threat: Protocols for Detection and Identification of Time Travelers." Let's see what the article says.
We assume a hostile time traveler coming from the future into our present. We assume the isotopic signal of biochemical fluids to be indistinguishable from our own isotopic signal, and that cultural differences have been already taken into account by the intruder. The task is how to correctly single the time traveler out of the normal population. Time travel technology is some 2 centuries beyond our current capability in what concerns traveling. In the meantime, we need to develop efficient mechanisms to detect potential time travelers who might pose a threat to national security. Of the currently available means, isotopic signature, based on carbon isotopes profiles of physiological-based fluids, and DNA mutation rate characterization are the most promising.
Well, we can definitely assume that time travelers, particularly in a scenario following a great disaster, could theoretically be hostile, at least locally, and perhaps trying to meddle with what is our current timeline to alter the course of the future. 200 years mentioned in the article is a short period of time, evolutionary speaking, too short to account for drastic evolution even with accelerated mutation rates. So the second paragraph most likely relates to human mastering time travel rather than beings like the Greys visiting us after millennia. We also see hints of a protocol intended to identify time travelers, as the text says.
Quantification of total carbon in whole blood, plasma, washed red blood cell, and urine in time travelers shows a distinctive value that clearly differ from that of normal subjects, pointing to some future high-level event which exposed time travelers to abnormal levels of radiation. Quantification of iron binding sites in transferrin, taken from blood plasma, serve to clearly single out intruders from normal population.
This seems to consider some scenario involving high doses of radiation. Not necessarily a nuclear near wipeout, but close enough perhaps. Or maybe living in an environment much more exposed to radiation for some completely different reason, including whatever the means of time travel itself could be. It also makes me wonder if such protocols are only a paper experiment, or has anyone tried to develop something like that in the depths of black budget programs, just in case. To wrap the topic up, we have some more thoughts about time travel.
The discovery of time travel into the past could be transformative not only to physics but humanity. Its uses might be many and varied, probably enlightening, but possibly catastrophic. Unlike modern searches for dark matter and dark energy, however, modern searches for time travel are comparatively rare. Given the modern ubiquity of the internet, though, there now exists new, far-reaching, and falsifiable methods to search for time travelers. Time travel requires personal identity. He who arrives must be the same person who departed.
What do you think about the topics discussed today, dear viewers? Could we indeed be designed and artificial beings unaware of our true nature? I can consider that as a possibility, even if a very, very distant one. The same goes for time travelers as our visitors. Our current understanding of physics and particularly technology nearly certainly excludes such mastery, but perhaps our descendants will, or have already in the future, master time travel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with you in another video very soon indeed. Take care.